Nigeria and South Africa, and also in localization of content. So we're also doing, right now we're doing an extensive pilot testing in Rwanda, so we can see if it's going to be worth the investment in dubbing it into Kinyarwanda, in Kikuyu, in all the South African languages, or at least the main South African language, not all 11 of them. So this is how we are planning to do our sales and marketing. And this growth will improve our value propositions for our partners because they will see that the content is being taken to more people and reaching more people in their localized context. And hopefully this will increase then the value that they see in our product. So our projections, so we project growth in audience as we expand to more and more countries. Therefore, in 2017, this is the projection that we have by the end of the year, because so far we have 5.1 million viewers. We project by the end of this year, because we're launching in South Africa, we would have 8 million viewers. And then by the end of next year, because we'll be launching in Nigeria, which has at least 7 million kids watching TV, we project that this will be our growth in users and so on. As we grow in users, we also hope to grow in the amount of people that we can actually sell our products to, and therefore the increase in percentage of conversion to premium. And of course, we have to, as we increase products, increase countries, we are looking to expanding our team also. And the sales will increase, but at the same time the sales are increasing, the costs will increase also. What we're hoping for is that by 2017, we have enough funding where the expenses will be less as a burden on the company, and will reach a place where the sales can make up, or at least can start catching up to the expenses. So our team is a very, very creative team. So we have Nisha. I think a lot of you maybe know of Nisha. She's the CEO, co-founder, producer. She's worked with BBC, etc. We have Doreen, who's our COO. We have Rajab, who's the lead animator, who's, I can confidently say, the best animator in Tanzania. He's taught a lot of other animators that are now working in other companies. There's myself, and then we have the Ubongo's team. We're a very passionate team. We have not just the production department, we have research and education, because we do a lot of research into our product. We start from user testing. We user test at the script stage, at the outline stage. We bring kids into the office. We ask them what stories do they like. They tell us stories. Every single point of our product, we include kids in. So outline stage, script stage, when we record the audios, we play it back to the kids. Are they interested in it? Does it captivate them? Because this also goes out on radio. So we need to know how it will be received also on radio. When we do the animation, we play it to the kids. And then afterwards, when everything is on air, then we take it to communities that have not been able to see it on TV. So for example, we're doing an extensive RCT study in Morogoro to those communities who don't have access to TV. And we see, like, do they learn from the programs, from the episodes that we're showing them? We pre-test and post-test, and it's a whole extensive. So we're really big on research and education before we even release a product on air. So when we're asking, what we're wanting, or the big company goal, is to raise at least $2 million by the end of this year to be self-sustainable. We already have $800,000 committed. What we are hoping for is more funding or donations or grants to be committed so that we can get to a point where the expenses are less and it's becoming more self-sustainable, so we can really focus on moving into a B2C model. So that's my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina. Could you kindly highlight all the African countries that Ubongo Kids is currently present?
So we have in East Africa, all the East African countries, Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. We have, because we've also done it in French, so we have it in several, like all the Western African countries, but this is for French Ubongo Kids. Some of that also takes up basically across Africa, we have Ubongo Kids, but most of it is in French. So a majority of that 27 countries is because of the Francophone Africa. Even those countries where it's not a Francophone country, but there's still French speakers in there, Nguli, which is where we hosted, is accessible to them. And then, like I said, we have Nigeria already contracted with us, South Africa. So that is how we're growing.
Excellent. That sounds like a big story. And congratulations.
Thank you.
You've done quite a mile already.
Yeah.
We will welcome questions to Christina from interested funders, interested partners, because they're looking to raise $2 million to make the next leap. And the aim of this pitch is for you to understand a new idea and possibly buy into it, because we're looking at investing in our own industry first before we build apartment houses and stuff like that. Any question for Christina? Yes, there's one from Godfrey. Could somebody take a microphone, please?
Thanks a lot. I think this is very good, and where you're moving is on the right direction. Mine is basically just on, I'll say, a suggestion in terms of additional revenue stream, because I've been engaged in a similar project, but based in South Africa. I don't know if you've ever heard about Mwabu interactive learning tablets. It's basically, it's a tab which you can load your programs into, and then the students will be having them. So they distribute to the students, so they can even learn at home and whatnot. So you load in, and I think there is one academy they've started here, I don't know if you know. It's called Siva Live in Arusha. So they load that kind of a context into, and instead of you going through your television, what is another revenue stream which you can build in, because you already have. You can always Google that and see that if you can load that, then it becomes, you can interact with a school, for example, and standard 2, standard 3, you can start maybe from standard 1, having that interactive tablets. When they go to second class, it means they're loaded with the new materials. So they learn also even from home, including the games and things like that. So it's just an additional revenue stream which you might think into the future.
Okay, so just a quick question back to you. So the tablet's already provided for, but we just get in touch with the schools or whoever it is that is going to use them for their children, and that would be our kind of clients. Is that what you're meaning?
Right now, the South Africa, I don't know who is producing the tabs, but these guys, what they'll do is, like you load the context onto the tab. They're very kiddish kind of, it's not like, the Apple kind of, it's a kiddish one, so I don't know if they make them in China or wherever, but I don't think you require a lot of capacities in terms of what needs to be done. But they load the context, and then it's being used with the students. So even in the class, the teacher will go through also the tabs and the students. So you're also teaching them some kind of a computer skills when they're still very young. And they can go home with it in the evening. They can play games, they can study, it's some kind of, it's a very good kind of interactive model, and it makes it cheaper for the schools as well, because you don't need 200 or 100 teachers. You can have, few teachers covering relatively large audience. And with this kind of what you have, I think that is an area where you need to look in terms of a future revenue stream. Because the one which you are having, you're going to have that kind of operation at least for the next 3 to 4 years.
Okay. Right. Thank you for the idea. Thank you.
Just another question to you, Christina. What is the demographic for your for the Ubongo kids? Is it the rural kids? Is it the urban kids?
So the majority is urban with access to TV, but rural is with access to radio. What we are doing is setting up video bandas in communities. We've started in Tanzania, in communities around Tanzania. So 1, 2, or 3 villages gather around one video banda and watch the content. We've provided content for them. We've provided solar paneling. And we've contracted whoever owns the video banda that, hey, after the football matches or before, can you show our content? So right now, that's how the demographics, those are demographics.
Do they charge you to show Ubongo kids?
No.
Okay, and they show it to the, for free as well?
Because then they get to keep, because some villages we have kind of told them they can charge, so if they charge 500, 200, 100 shillings, but other villages we've kind of facilitated that where we said that we'll pay for the kids to come watch.
Oh, thank you. Any other questions for Christina? Yes, there's one at the front. Could we get the microphone? Okay, 3. We'll start with the front. Gentleman at the front.
Well, actually, it's not a question. It's just what I just wanted to elaborate more from what he said. So we adults, those who are privileged enough, they use Kindles. Kindles, they upload books and things like that. So for kids, similar kind of scenario, but these are apps where kids will either play, there are certain kind of numerical games, literacy games, there are cartoons, there are things like that. Now, I've met once with such kind of initiative. They usually team up with these electronic companies, for instance, Samsung, Microsoft, Apple, and then they develop such kind of initiatives. So probably you could also chip on them because there are various kind of schools initiatives which are taking the technology in education, and that is a very good idea which he brought up, because in Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken, I heard of Glow trying to do something like that, so you could actually chip on that.
Okay, thank you.
Can we go back to the slide with the money? Sorry. Next, that one. If I understand it correctly, then when do you see yourself breaking even? Because you still have a gap all the way through to 2019.
Yeah, so this is where the call for funding comes in, because if we reach our 2 million target with 800,000 already committed, then we will reach a point where our expenses are at least covered for, and we can get to a place of a few years where we can increase our sales and not worry about expenses, and then hopefully balance it out. And then from there going forward, we make profit. Because at this point, we've not made profit, because it's all about it's more expensive than actually what we get back.
So are you running as a nonprofit or running as a...
We're running as a nonprofit.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was another hand at the back. I don't know if we missed you.
Just quickly, you mentioned video bandas. Have you done mapping of video bandas? And how, if and where have you mapped them out?
So with our video bandas, we are being funded by USAID. So it's more where they advise us to start in those communities. So we started in Morogoro, and we're seeing the success of it. So now we're going to more closer towards Dar es Salaam. So basically, we're like projecting outwards, so closer to Dar es Salaam and then further and further out. Because the further out you go, the more costs you incur. So we're hoping to find a really big improvement around in the communities outside of Dar es Salaam, but still in a good proximity, and then we take it further out.
You have data on those, on that, on
yes,
the number?
we do. Yes, I can send you. We have all of that.
Thank you so much. Maybe John, could you introduce, your name and what you do so that she can get the link, and
Yeah,
this will be a good connection for her?
Yeah, we know each other.
We know each other.
Okay. Oh, great.
John.
Any other questions for Christina? JB, are your hands up or are you stretching? Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you all.
And we'll move on to Kijiweni Productions.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cici Mlai. I'm here from Kijiweni Productions. I'm with my colleague.
I'm Rahema Yusuf.
And we've both been working for Kijiweni for a few months now, but on a couple of projects for a couple of years now. So Kijiweni Productions is a film production house, and we look to help build an independent and sustainable industry through social, that is committed to the social liberation of the African continent. Today, I want to tell you guys specifically about one of the projects that we have been working on for the last couple of months, since January this year. It's called T-Junction, and it's a film about two girls, Fatima and Maria. The film itself is a tale of two girls, their communities, and the invisible separation that brings them together. We've been doing films from 2012. This will be our second feature. We did 2 short films and have played successfully across the continent. With T-Junction, the story itself is, as I said, our 2 characters, Fatima and Maria, and they meet at a hospital. Fatima is a fairly young girl, and she's quite lonely. And from the beginning of the film, we realize actually that she's lost her father. And when she gets there, she meets this quirky individual whose name is Maria. She's a patient at the hospital with bandages on her face, and the 2 girls have an interaction. Now, Fatima is quite reserved, and she's not quite open to people. So when she finds that there's this girl who's trying to talk to her, she's sort of put off. But throughout the film, as they continue to share their stories with each other, Maria especially, we find out that both of them have actually experienced a great loss, and this is the one thing that bridges their stories together. It's a feature film that we worked on from January, and we are in the post-production phase, and that's what we want to talk to you about today. So I'll let my colleague here run us through some of the themes of the film.
Hello. The major themes of T-Junction is redemption and liberation of all kinds. Addressing grievances that affect the interaction of the working class community in urban spaces. We try to show how the community complains, especially of unfair treatment. Those grievances we are talking about in T-Junction are the communities, especially the small business people, like vendors, and how they're being treated unfairly in the society. We're mostly talking about Mgambos. I don't know if all Africans, they're calling them Mgambo, but in Tanzania we're calling them Mgambo. And I'm sorry to say this, but Tanzanian Mgambo are
What is
so
Mugambo
terrible.
in English?
Yes?
What is Mugambo in English?
Are those streets askari? Militias. Yeah.
Security guard?
It's city police.
City police.
Yeah. Yeah. So in T-Junction, we all know T-Junction is like three roads. It's like those are vendors, they are working, they are putting their vibandas of, they are selling small businesses. They are also mamantiliers, but it shows how Mgambos, city police are coming to attack them and all that. Can you go? On the question of gender politics, the struggle that exists when trying to breach the rim of gender politics in speaking out about the reality of domestic violence, also the journey to the realization of gender empowerment can mean when the disempowerment find themselves creating their own agencies. Yeah. And the last is the need for building new space that allows citizens to advocate for change where they can call for more government accountability. Now, this is what we need. Can I give the mic back to Sisi?
So to finalize this beautiful journey that we've been on since January, we raised $60,000 for pre and post-production. Our gap now is $15,000 that we need to finalize the post-production of the film. Post-production will include editing, color grading, music, sound, all these small and tiny elements that actually bring this film to life. And our plan with the movie is to share it, exhibit it across different platforms. One would be to do an East Africa-wide release of the film in cinemas in Dar es Salaam, Nairobi, and Kampala. We also plan to play in film festivals across the world. Thirdly, we would like to do our very first DVD release locally. and a caravan exhibition of the film across the country.
Well, I'll sum up by introducing our team. We have Amil Shivji. He's a founder of Kijiweni Production. Then we have Wilson Rumisha. He's our marketing manager. There is myself, Rehema, and Sisi Mlai. She's a creative supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sisi and Rehema. I'll invite questions from the audience. Yes, could somebody take your microphone?
Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. I would like to know what's the projection for the return to investment? You're asking for $15,000, but what's your projection? I think you are selling, you will sell, I assume you will sell DVDs, possibly, I don't know, media, television, etc., etc. What's the projection?
Okay, so I will be very honest in answering that question. Look, at the moment, with the way DVD sales work, it would be difficult for me to say exactly how many units we'd be projecting to sell. So in regards to revenue share, I think that would be a discussion that we'd have to have once we're sure like what platforms we'll be sharing across. I mean, with film, with the cinema exhibition, you're looking at a week, and that depends on your seatings and etc. So I have to say that that's something that we've been discussing for quite some time, and we haven't really landed on a clear answer on that.
Sisi, have you thought of making strategic partnerships with companies and firms that have the information that you don't have? In regards to numbers for your projections, but also that could be your, could offer you the research material that you need to be able to access because nobody's going to give you $15,000 without some information, and yes, you need that.
So at least with the DVDs and with the cinema sales, I will say this: we did release our previous works at the cinema, and with the DVDs, we haven't done that before with any of our other work, just because with the distribution networks and us being an independent film company, the way it works right now is that we have one central distributor. So in terms of copyright, that would be a feature film, Aisha, and that was well attended. We had a full house the day that we premiered, and for the entire run of the week, we actually outdid 2 Hollywood blockbuster films that were showing. Matt Damon's film that was showing about Mars or something, and there was another film that was notable, but we outsold both of those.
Congratulations. Any
question?
Yes, Stephen?
So I guess just to continue from where you left, I think you should get comfortable using numbers. I was listening to the questions that you were being asked, and it's like you went close to saying that we had 1,000 people who attended our show, and it ended up making $20,000, but you always stopped and said, we outshone Martian, we outshone who, but then I'm just like, what does that mean from a financial perspective? So I think it's just a challenge for you that even the people who put focus for 5 years, they don't know for a fact. They say that, you know what, our assumptions are based on the fact that a theater has 20 people, 100 people. In the previous bids, we've been able to sort of like fill 3 theaters, and that's how we've been able to arrive at these assumptions, whatever. So just feel a bit comfortable just taking a wild guess based on assumptions, because that's what people, investors, look to hear. Nobody's going to come and say that you lied to me, because I'm taking a risk also like when I'm getting into the investments. But then 2 just simple questions. How long is the movie going to be, and then what language will it be in? And how, like if I'm from Kenya and I want to watch it, how will I be able to access it? Thank you.
Okay, I'll answer. First of all, thank you very much for your feedback on the numbers. And secondly, our film is in Swahili. That's been the case with all of our films because we're looking to target a local audience here. But we do have English subtitles because it's something that we'd like to travel across borders as well. The film is projected to be about 1 hour, 50 minutes to 2 hours. If you're in Kenya, by the way, we do stream most of our films. Samaki and Shushain are both online. One is available on an international platform, and Samaki is available to watch free online.
Thank you so much, Sisi. There were... Yes.
I have a suggestion. After you obtain the $15,000, and as part of the promotional plan that you have, I suggest you look into going to a film festival in Belgium. It's called Africa Film Festival, and they feature productions from African countries only, so it might be a good platform to showcase your work.
Thank you.
Any other questions and comments?
It's actually, to just add to that, another platform that you might consider engaging with is Good Pitch. Good Pitch will at least also, because its focus is on film. It is documentary film, but I think that at the last Good Pitch we had in Nairobi last year, we also had a follow-up event with representatives from Sundance, from BritDoc, from whoever, who are not just looking at documentary films. They were also looking at filmmaking in the region in general. And one of the comments that I've heard in these spaces is, when we wanted to buy content, this is from someone at Netflix, they said, you know, when we wanted to buy content from Africa, we went to Nigeria, we actually had to chase people away. There were so many submissions. We went to South Africa, there were so many submissions, we had to chase people away. And East Africa was a desert. They were trying very, very hard to find content in the region, and they were struggling. So even if the space says documentary, it might be a good space to hear what people are saying about filmmaking in the region.
Thank you. Good pitch.
Yes, Good Pitch.
Thank you so much, Sisi and Rehema. If there's no further questions, we'd like to move on to the next sector. One more question? Oh, sorry.
Basically, it's not a question, but...
And not a warning, I hope.
Not a warning. EU is going to open a window for film. I don't know how old are your filmmakers?
How old are we on the team?
Yeah.
Between 30 and 24.
That's the right now age group that they're looking for. So you better start following up with the EU Tanzania, because there's a big pot of money, and the productions will be coming out somewhere September. So check their website and follow up.
Thank you.
A round of applause to Sisi, Rehema, Christina, and Uriel. I'll now invite the accessories to come to the front. And we have Uru, Fahari Stones, and Ruka. Fahari Stones represented by Shamsa Diwani, Ruka represented by Claire Mulisia, and Uru So creatives, you cannot say there is a lack of businesses to invest in. We have all these potential avenues. Look for the most appropriate and put your money there. You'll be guaranteed of returns. Claire? You're welcome. Well, just so we could get on with our time, I will invite Uru.
All right, thank you. Can I we're going to watch a short film. It's about Uru. Anyways. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for having us today. Ayeta, thank you for inviting us. Mashariki Creative Economy, Impact Investment, British Council, and Dandinda and CDA. Hi, my name is Julda Julius Makundi. I'll start by Uru Diamond is a fashion jewelry. We are a company that is an exclusive full-service custom jewelry brand from Tanzania, founded in 2009. Uru is a self-proclaimed fashion jewelry brand. Our jewelry is known for its prophecy of unique colors, tanzanite stones, and exquisite custom tailor-made designs to customers and to clients across the globe. The Uru DNA. The Uru pieces are reflecting on various colors of Tanzania. Uru is 100% handmade, handmade in Tanzania. From staff members, labor works, designs, raw minerals, that reaches the premium prices to Tanzanians and worldwide. The brand identity lies within various fun colors through cultures, classic timeless, modern, and clean-cut detailed custom jewelries, Tanzanite stones, and other stones from Tanzania. The main gemstones is used in Uru pieces is Tanzanite, the unique gem of violet blue, as it's a native birth of stone in the land and cannot be found anywhere else in the world apart from Tanzania. Uru uses variety of rough precious stones and polished and set into gold or fine silver molds. Uru uses variety of precious stones and polished and set into gold and fine silver molds. The gemstones are left as close as how they are found, highlighting the beauty. This means each Uru jewelry piece is made distinctively. The straps of the bracelets are made from quality, hand-knotted threads, or natural leather in a wide-ranging each stone. We Uru provide the best production and design. The rough gemstones are purchased from small miners all around Tanzania. Urus are constantly looking for new opportunities and ventures and to add value to the rough gemstones. Our inspirations come from the ease of life, simple pleasures, and the pride things has brought in being part of the fabric of Tanzania. Uru's vision was further spurred on not just the need of Tanzanian jewelry, but the line jewelry line that produced unique designs to the global market. Uru doesn't just sell jewelry, it tells the stories of its true Tanzanian natural resources, native stories. Not stories normally sold around the world of hardship of Tanzania, but the stories that relate its grace and positivity that shines through its people, hidden treasures across the landscape. The industry. Tanzania had an abundance of natural resources and resources in terms of gemstones, diamonds, and gold. Having as a company to fall in love with the people and the country, we have decided to take up the challenge of procuring rough gemstones and producing jewelry here in Tanzania. Our aim job is to do special training in Tanzanian staff labor in craft of making jewelry to take the industry in action, meaning knowledge of transfer to the locals. In 2009, in the beginning of our company, the country back then had very few or any production, production of jewelry houses, and that has been a challenge. As a company, we wanted to bring the whole manufacturing process to Tanzania, from trading training people, all regions to engrave, file, and deal with wax and prototypes, and deal with all modern machines and tools that create jewelry so they could produce more of it easily, faster, and maintain high quality product, and most importantly, be proud of what Tanzania has to offer or deliver. Uru was born as a labor of love, continues to espouse Tanzanian culture in its vibrant simplicity and excellence. The team, the Uru team. Before the first bracelet had ever even come into fruition, we are lucky enough to find people who are committed to help and build up the vision. And those people are our staff members. And most of them, they are still at Uru till this day. It's a testament that the way Uru works, that no one who comes through the door haven't left us. Everyone is involved in creating and developing the Uru. The company and its people know that we are all equal in doing so. As a family, it has been built around the brand. Uru has over more than 60 employees, of which are part of producing the bracelets and designing from different regions around Tanzania. Uru is helping to build a base of Tanzanian jewelers who can take their training and expertise and pass it on to new generations. We also support livelihood to our miners and who supply us, teaching them how to create more sellable gemstones and creating opportunities to young ones or the unprivileged ones. And anyone who's seeking to learn more or work hard and build their talent to success is openly welcome to Uru. The brand expansion, as you can see, currently the company has future plans in expanding the brand and providing professional services internationally and as a flagship store. In our neighboring countries such as Kenya and South Africa, we've already pursued these 2 stores and still currently dominantly running successfully till this day. The future of Uru. Uru is currently available in East and Southern Africa, and it will be expanding and selling platform across the whole of Africa by the year before 2020. With our strong agents from Europe and America, our pieces has turned to be a positive outcome to clients worldwide, and with our natural resources from Tanzania, as it will be available across the globe, as we have already started venturing into Sweden and Australia. Our future objectives. Uru's future objectives are to reach a wider international audience. The company is 100% Tanzanian, so we need an extensive extra support to reach the core brand, our country's value, and our country objectives of resources. Uru is looking to expand to be an industry, and all goods will be made in Tanzania, from packaging, boxes, leather, goods, and expansion or jewelry range offered. With new techniques, sophisticated machinery, and big design ideas, Uru can only go from strength to strength. With your help and with your support, this in mind, Uru wants to continue creating good impacts with quality, product, and excellence. And on the local community, and a global reach for the Tanzanian trade, labor, and tourism. Thank you all for listening.
There must be something with the connection because everybody has been able to show a video or a clip or something in motion. But I'd like to invite direct questions to Uru. We don't have a lot of time because we were supposed to finish at 5 and we still have one sector to go. So if we could be specific with the questions and make it keep time.
Thanks. I think from me it's a very good presentation, but I didn't hear what they want. The company has been operating for over 8 years. I would have expected to see at least some kind of of at least a picture of what has been the last year, 3 years turnover or bottom line, something like that. What really Uru wants from an investment point of view? Thanks.
Thank you. Basically, it's an independent brand. It's not supported by the government. And we've invested so much for the brand that we are actually showing the whole world the natural resources of Tanzania. We want an extensive support from the government because we want to venture the brand. We also want to venture our natural resources, Tanzanite and other stones, which a lot of people here are not aware about. And we want to recruit more employees, the local ones. We want to give the opportunities and also the benefit about working with our brand. We're training the jewelry industry, what is expected, what is expected internationally, and also training them for the better as well in production.
I think from a financial perspective, we have somebody from the government who we met earlier within the jewelry session. So I think on that part you connect with her. He's from Godfrey, which is a potential investor. I don't know if that fits into your radius, but directly is Uru personally funded? Are you looking to partner with possible funders? Is that something in your interest?
Uru is personally funded by our own. We are really looking into growing and expanding the natural resources, but it will be helpful from the government, because we need extra funding for capital for employees, production, and such, and also training as well. And we also do mini workshops for the locals of what is expected and such.
I don't know if that answers your question directly, the gentleman from Godfrey, but doesn't give numbers per se. I can understand.
I think my problem still is, I really wanted to understand that they're talking about 2020 plans going to Sweden, to where, so I would have thought maybe there'll be some kind of opportunity from investors in terms of going through that. That was number one. And secondly, just to add on the pitch, it's also very good because you're presenting a very luxurious brand. The things like, the patent, some of the investors will want to know. Definitely, I understand you might not have exactly the 2020 vision of the brand maybe, but for me, I think what we could have pitched or what we could have said was, on this journey, we look to partner with private and government investors and to see how we can expand on this industry. But I'm fine with that. Thanks.
Moderator, I can't see you. I'm just taking the mic.
You
can't see me either. It's just a suggestion. As a federation, Tanzania Federation for Arts and Crafts, we had a serious meeting with TanTrade. TanTrade is under the Ministry of Industry, and they fund, since you said you are looking for government investment, one of the programs that they have is to support people like you going to countries outside Tanzania. And very unfortunately, I think in April, it was in March, they gave us, through the Tanzania Visual Association, 3 positions to go to the UK, which was fully funded. But it just gave us, I think, less than a week before the trip was due to occur. It was very difficult to get people who were ready to leave in a very short period of time. But just to take note, you can either contact TanTrade, or I can help you contact TanTrade. They, from the government perspective, they help you market your products. They can take you to where they normally do the fairs. They take Tanzanians to fairs across the world. So if they get, I'm sure they do not have people from the jewelry industry. So I'll give you a contact of a lady called Masha, who would actually be helpful in the next fairs that they're going to take, but they also have funding. I don't know if there are people from Bagamoyo College of Arts and others who get funds from them. We are also thinking of as an association to get funds from them, but they are serious people. They are from the government and they fund. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's Zuhura right at your back.
Thank you. My question is, in your presentation you said that you're using Nani resources and gemstones from Tanzania so that you can, show to the world the resources of Tanzania and how, we're going about our things. And my question is, so how do you make your product available to the local people so that they can also be aware of what they have in their own country? Because some don't know, and some don't even know just generally, most people don't know what they have in their own country until you show them. So how do you go about making your product available to the public and to the local people in Tanzania from whom you work with whom you work with, and from whom their products come?
Yes, thank you. Well, we work with our prices. Our prices, we try to make it so reasonable where the local people anyone in Tanzania who's local could purchase, and also the tourists itself. We also try to market and strategize our new brands and accessories with different gemstones to just give them brand information on the social media as well. And when they come to our store, we show them. And the best part about our store, we have a live manufacturer where you can actually see where your bracelet is made and where it's coming from and all that. So you can actually get that appreciation when you purchase your bracelets. Uru can come out like luxury, like you mentioned, but to be honest, it's basically 100% Tanzanian. It's a 100% Tanzanian brand, meaning such all the printings, like the packaging and everything comes from Tanzania. We don't export anything from China, no Italy or whatsoever. We try to get the best quality as possible. So even when the client comes to our store, they see everything handmade from Tanzania. From the rough gemstone tanzanite to the straps, to the threading, to the price itself, which is suitable for any person can purchase. You can never purchase, because our price range starts from $100 and a maximum to $200. Now you can go anywhere in the world and you can never purchase that amount in any diamond. And that's why Uru stands for it. Like it's affordable, it's fun, and it's a best gift you can give to anyone. I hope that answers your question.
You spoke about your stores, so where are your stores located around Tanzania?
Our store is located here in Tanzania, also in Kenya and South Africa, but majority, the head office itself and the manufacturing, everything is at Slipway, and the head store itself is at Slipway.
So you are located at Slipway?
In Slipway, yes.
What about other places? Have you started, process of being available at other places?
Yes, we've ventured in other jewelry houses, like Tanzanite jewelry houses in Zanzibar and such. We just co-partners with them, and they sell our products. And yeah, majority of our clients are tourists, and some of them are local Tanzanians.
For me, it's the first time I'm hearing about Uru, so it's more like a suggestion. There are these several trade fairs, market things, market exhibitions that are done. Maybe you should, do you go and show your products there on those festivals and exhibitions that are usually available around? I've seen many of them in Dar es Salaam. If you could, engage in that, people would know about your product. More people would know about your product and would be able to purchase it, so that more news can travel to other people as well, not just
To answer your question, a lot of brands have a lot of brand DNA, as in brand brand image. So we try to be as distinctive as possible, but also, yes, we're trying to send out a message. So we only go to those kind of exhibitions for the places where we get invited, and which is suitable for the brand and our target audience. Our target audience is anyone who can purchase our brand in terms of Tanzanians, the tourists. So we try to go to those events.
What if the person can't invite you but would like to know about you?
Zuhura, that is going to be your last question.
Can we discuss about that later?
I'm sorry. Sorry, that's it. Sorry.
Any other question that is, I mean, you can always contact her on a one-on-one, just to keep this session quick. Yes, there's a hand at the front. Yes, Santa,
Thank you, Elizabeth. Uru, you look beautiful. And I think that you've done a very good job showcasing your product to us. I'm a fashion designer, and it's very important for me to get the right jewelry to accessorize my product. And I just want to commend you and acknowledge Uru for the fact that you have chosen to be, fine. Your showcase and your products look clean, crisp, timeless, precious, luxurious. And I think that most times East Africa is known for sort of jua kali. And I personally think that we are bigger than that, and I think that, this is the direction that many jewelers and even, artists across the board should be taking. So congratulations on your journey.
Thank you.
And to build on to what Santa has said, Jalda, the jewelry, fashion, and film tend to feed off each other.
Yes.
So in this house we have designers, filmmakers, film producers. You could make strategic partnerships with them to feature your product, and that will give you extra mileage in a different avenue that you've probably not thought about, and give you strategic relations.
Sorry, before you wrap up, I would just like to...
No, I'm not wrapping up. One more.
Okay, perfect. Maybe just to help answer the question that Zuhura was asking, like her targeted market. I think the targeted market, like she said, their bracelet, their price range are from $100 to a maximum of $250. So I think their targeted market is anyone who knows that they can afford $100 worth of a bracelet with Tanzanite in it. So.
One last question for Jalda, if there's any. Otherwise, we'll move on to... Anybody, any other question? Thank you so much, Uru, for a beautiful presentation.
Thank you.
And we'll move on to... So now move on to Shamsa Diwani from Fahari Stones.
My name is Shamsa Diwani, the chairperson of Fahari Stones. Fahari Stones is the brand name for Mineral Value Addition. Mineral Value Addition is a company which registered for women, but also working together with partners who men. Mineral Value Addition, men who have experience with adding value to the minerals. So we can work them together because we work also with the miners, women and men. But the company is registered by women.
I like that you are very specific.
Opportunity for process of cutting and polishing gems, which is called gem cutting or lapidary. And MIVA voluntarily complies with the enhanced accountability requirements for the appointment of external auditor and to have its annual financial statements audited. The organization is located at plot number 523 Kijitonyama, Dar es Salaam. MIVA was formed by a team of experts in gemstones mining industry. The leaders who were engaged with the TAWOMA, Tanzania Women Miners Association, they organized themselves and established this mineral value addition. So it's the value chain. They work in value chain with the miners and those who are adding value to the minerals. MIVA revenue model aims to promote inclusion of women in extractive industry value chain by advocating the role and importance of women development strategies to promote local mineral value addition through development of mineral value addition processing industries, employment creation, increased incomes, growth, and improve welfare systems too. We have 3 branches, Tanga, Dar es Salaam, and Arusha at the moment. But we intend to be all over Tanzania. And this organization is new. It is registered in 2015, but we had started 2016. So it's not long time. MIVA products are jewelries, such as earrings, rings, bracelet, pendants, and necklace, gemstone trees, and accessories from beads like earrings, necklaces, bracelets. We also make other mineral handicraft, and we use gemstones and gold and silver. Mostly we use silver because it is reasonable. Anybody can buy. And gemstones, we use all varieties of gemstones because some people, they can't afford to buy tanzanite, but they can buy amethyst and red garnet. And our sales projection, the first year, which is this 2017, $50,000 US, and we intend next year maybe we'll increase 60,000 for what we have, and then 70,000, and then the next year up to 5 years we'll get maybe 120 if we can't get any sponsor or any partner to work together. Okay, we have 3 in our team. We have 3 ladies whom we work together every day. It's Beatrice Peter, who is executive director, and she coordinates day-to-day MIVA administrative work, and also she's a lapidarist. She attended also the training for lapidary. And Hadija also, she attended gemology and lapidary. And Shamsa myself, I attended accredited professional jewelry with the GIA, and I do marketing and sales. What we are looking for is US $100,000. And that will go for lapidary machinery and tools, about 50%. And training and capacity building to members, 25%. Sales and marketing, 15%. And administrative costs, 10%. But because we intend to train women and youth, especially at the mining areas, so they can help themselves in working with the gemstones which are available in that areas. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shamsa, and I would like to commend you and the team of women. It's very good that you come from a background of both professional training and experience, which is something that sometimes our industry lacks. People sometimes come from the area of passion, and then they learn along the way. but you have attained a good foundation. Are there any questions for Shamsa and Fahari Stones? Yes, Santa.
Thank you, Mama. That was great. Now, I didn't see any pictures. I don't know if I was absent-minded, but I tried to keep. Okay, I asked because I saw your products, and I actually endeavored to find out how much they are, and I think that you do a very good job. However, chances are the possible investor did not make it there. Investors are normally very busy people. So you cannot tire of showcasing your product. As a matter of fact, your product is a lot lighter than mine. I endeavor to wear my own, but you can actually carry in your handbag a piece of your finest whenever you have a gathering such as this, because you don't know where or who the investor might be. Invest in good photography. It is worth your while. And sometimes our work is most appreciated in a visual form. Visual communication is so powerful, so I will encourage that your next presentation, you don't have to do it yourself, but let those women or get those men to work to get good pictures of your, all right? My next is about the Global Village in Dubai. Could you please share with us, first of all, how much did you invest in terms of getting space there, in terms of staying there, and actually how long was it, and how much did you, was it beneficial, was it worthwhile, how much did you actually make in sales, and would you encourage, would you recommend it? Thank you, Mama.
Thank you very much. In Global Village, it was 2007 by that time. And it was for two and a half months by that time. We paid about, I think we paid about, it was not expensive by that time. We paid about 1,500 to take a booth. And we shared, 3 of us. But last year, we requested, they told us it's 18,000 US dollar. Yeah, 18,000 US dollar. And for 5 months. 5 months. 5 months and something, I think almost 6 months or 5 months. And you can share maybe 2 or 3. For our products, maybe 3 of us we can share. But for that time I went, it was worth. It was worth. We sold, because it was November, so we sold people who bought presents for Christmas, November, December, and January. We sold a lot. And we stayed there up to February or March, I think. Yeah. Wow. Global Village, mostly foreigners, the whites and Indians, and Arabs also they buy, but not that the rich men, they don't come there, rich men. If they come, they just come to go round, but they don't buy. But the Indians, they buy a lot. In fact, like Jameson trees, we finished everything. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Shamsa.
Thank you.
Has Fahari Stones tapped into the social media market?
Not yet. In fact, Fahari Stones, we have established recently. We were lucky to get an organization. They sponsored us to make these promotional materials and brand name, everything. Now we are in process to put it in market and to produce those promotional materials.
Promotional print materials?
Yeah, just to print. It's already designed.
Okay.
We just want to print everything now.
What about the online internet?
And online also. We have started to put it online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and good luck. Any
you
other
very much.
questions for Fahari Stones? Well, we'll move on to the next presentation by Ruka Jewelry. And we need to beat the time. I will encourage the fashion design presenters, teachers to get ready because you'll be coming on next. And kindly be specific because as you pitch your business idea and plan, the aim and purpose of this session is for you to sell your idea and your vision to this room of a free audience, both in research and also in idea and content. So try and utilize the audience as much as possible.
Karibuni everyone. I'm Claire Musila from Uganda, founder and creative director of Ruka Jewelry. What we do at Ruka Jewelry, it's clearly there. We provide you with bohemian, distinguished and individual pieces. We design bohemian jewelry for the distinguished woman. We believe in material manipulation. As a designer, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you every day I wake up, nature inspires me or this inspires me. The biggest inspiration as a designer is material. Because you can say nature inspires you, but if there's no material, there's nothing to do about it. We believe in the orange bead out of all the beiges. What does that mean? That means we believe in difference. We believe in being yourself. What we love about jewelry design is that we're able to express ourselves. We give you transformality, we give you distinguishment, we give you exposure. So the need, why jewelry? Jewelry, history, according to history and just in general, it's about culture. Fashion is also about culture. Jewelry under fashion is also about culture. I'll talk about mainly the Maasai, who put a lot of importance on life changes, status, investment, sentiment, but it's not just them, it's everyone in the world. China, even people in China, here in Tanzania, in Uganda, it's all about culture. It's about your society. It's about how you present yourself. Life changes, you could talk about, let's say, weddings, events, sentiments, you could talk about heirlooms, something passed down to you from a distant relative. But now, let's leave jewelry general. Why do people want Ruka jewelry? What we offer, as I told you, is transformality. People most of the time forget that fashion and jewelry design is actually an art form. A lot of work goes into it. They see all the glitz and the glamour, and they forget that you sweat behind there to put your mind in a piece. It's not a joke. Even you'll find many designers who just give you a piece of thread at $200. But that piece of thread took them an hour to lay down, even though it's just a piece of thread. You're thinking about the material, the time, the cost of labor. So what we offer you is transformality. Diane von Furstenberg, I don't know if you know her, she's a very famous, world-renowned fashion designer. She said, jewelry is the perfect spice. It always complements what's already there. For example, if I was in this dress and I didn't have a necklace on, it would just be a little black dress. But I've transformed it with the piece I'm in. She transformed hers with the necklace she's in. So has Ayeta. Everyone here who is in a piece of adornment has transformed themselves. In terms of transformability, I'm also talking about solutions. I'm not just talking about fashion and glitz. I'm talking about, for example, this piece. Someone wanted something versatile, So when I made this, but they wanted a choker. I just got a choker, and made it architectural. So if you just flip it, you can wear it a second way. So it's a 2-in-1. The first ones that we made could be long or short. So it's that one. It's 3 ways. That picture is there. Our market, who do we cater to? When we started just about 6 to 8 months ago. That's when I started Ruka. What I realized is when I took a product out to sell, someone would say, oh my goodness, I love what you're wearing. I love that piece. So then they ask you, how much is it? And then you tell them the price and they say, oh, I don't think I'll take it. But they don't know what it's taken to make that piece. So we had that problem with people who are below 30, from like 18 to 30, they love the piece and they know they should pay more, but they just don't want to. They don't want to pay for innovation. So the market that will actually pay for what we make because of our intricacy, our innovation, our desire to learn is the 32 to about 45 age group. To cater to this market, when they come to buy our products, we're not yet, since we're just a startup, our business model just focuses on transactional endeavors. I give you the product, you give me the cash. We're not yet into credit cards or, all these other products. Mobile money, we're not doing that yet because we want to study our market. So Ruka Jewelry in the horizon. Me as the creative director, I am obsessed with gemstones. I think everyone here knows it. It's all I talk about. But at Ruka, work with what I had. So because I love to learn and I'm trainable, I'd get even the cheapest material I have and make sure I do an excellent piece so that it's sellable. So that's why I'm able to have competition like Kazuri, which is already established, or Taloso, which is in Uganda, because my clients actually say that they also buy Kazuri and Taloso. Taloso is in the same line as us. African Villages, it's Kampala. There are 1 million stalls in one, and they all. So the strengths and weaknesses I divided into East African presence, pricing, online presence, product quality, diversification. As the creative director, I know for sure the other 4 are covered. Pricing, for our target market, they're satisfied. That's why they're target market. They agree with the prices.
What is the price per unit?
On average, the price per unit is from $18, $19 to $50. And then for East African presence, we don't have that yet because we're just a startup, but avenues will help us like social media. Taloso is also a competitor, but then they don't have a strong East African presence. They have good products, but they keep moving from here to here because they're not establishing themselves well enough. When we did our survey, we actually did it on a sample of 73. They said that they don't agree with Taloso's pricing because they'll give you a simple piece which is really expensive and the client doesn't see what really went into it. And yet they've actually used really expensive material, but the clients don't see what they're buying. So I guess with Taloso, maybe their problem is brand awareness. I don't know. The rest, they're good on that part. Online presence, product quality, product diversification. Kazuri, the reason I say there's an X on product diversification is while they have quality, they only deal in clay. I'm trying to remember that. Yes, that's what they deal in. So much as they'll have bracelets, they'll have necklaces, they'll have a lot, but they don't have a diversity of materials. And then African Village, that's the many stalls. Their product quality clients have complained about it. East African presence, not everyone knows about them, just in Uganda. So now I did an industry study as well, because I want to get into Ruka wants to get into the gemstone industry. We don't just deal with thread and leather and the cheaper materials, because it's what we can afford now. So opportunities, what I looked at is technological advancement in the gemstone industry and diamonds, tanzanite. They have cards. I don't know if you know what cards are. Computer-aided design. So they'll have ZBrush, they'll have another called the Matrix, where you can actually get the product. It's like you're an architect of beads. You get on the program, you design the bead, you see how to work in 3D. A client can actually see an entire process. It's very interactive. That's an opportunity for Ruka once we delve into gemstones. Then lifting existing ban of raw gold exports. That's from Uganda and even other countries like Myanmar, let's say if we want to source jadeite, because it's not common here in East Africa. Then capitalization on gemstone jewelry product, that's what I already talked about. Tanzania. Today I told my colleagues that I think I should move here because Uganda and gemstones is useless. They do have gold, but they don't have gemstones. So, and today, actually, the trend is that those days when, let's say you were getting engaged, people wanted a diamond ring, but today they want a diamond infused in gold. So you see how Uganda and Tanzania can work together. Uganda is richer in gold, Tanzania is rich in the stones. So if you work together, there's good capitalization there. Then mineral site discovery, that's an opportunity. It only becomes a threat when you're only able to survey and you can't get the license to actually mine. That's when it's a problem. So the threats are just the opposite. Rising gold prices. If let's say gold prices increase, the raw materials will be more expensive. That means my customers have to pay more. So I'd have to find the balance. How do I market? How do I give them exceptional brand awareness so that they'll still come to buy my jewelry, even though the prices have gone up? So how do we counter these threats and our weaknesses? We have a various set of tools. Zuckerberg put it best. He said the amount of time, the amount someone shares today is twice the amount they shared a year ago. That means if I have 1 million feeds this year, if I have 1 million this year, next will be 2 million. And he said that a long time ago, so it should be exponential. It should even be a bigger factor now. So what we're focused on is Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr. Tumblr is really good for visual. A lot of architects use Tumblr, and designers who are in product markets. Instead of service, focusing on product, Tumblr is really good. And then Pinterest is really, really good. I actually didn't know this. I never used Pinterest until I started Ruka Jewelry. Studies show that actually, if someone goes to Pinterest, go to Facebook, they are 10% more likely to procure your product when they've seen it on Pinterest. Because not only is it visual, people are recommending you, you're involved in pins, it's very interactive. And they also, the same researchers also said that what you post on Pinterest will actually last there twice the time it lasts on other social media platforms. So it's really good for any designer to use Pinterest. Then Etsy, we won't focus on it too much. Maybe we'll first test it out the first 6 months to see what we get out of it. Their commission fees are not bad, but they are 3.5% per product. So I feel like that's not exactly affordable. Then brick and mortar stores, that's basic. Many stores these days are going to online. They prefer online. But I've seen it because anyone who knows who has maybe walked into a boutique or worked in one. When I was younger and I worked in a boutique, you'd send people these pictures of pieces. And then they say, oh, I don't know. And then they come stand in front of a mirror and they say, oh, okay. And then they buy it. So a brick and mortar store is good. Magazine features, if we can get into fashion magazines in East Africa and then go onwards and upwards. hopefully one day Vogue. And then partnerships and pop-ups, these are just good marketing tools at a cheaper price. Then if we do all this really well, referrals come naturally. Referrals are actually your biggest profit makers because they come from trust, and your trust will come from brand awareness, and we'll have captured brand awareness because of our tools. Our KPIs, we've been in business only about 6 months, but the average monthly revenue we made on an average of 26 products, we made about $440, which means average gross profit was $244, average gross margin was 59. Gross margin doesn't look realistic, but we had just started and we hadn't yet done the market stuff, but with the clients we had, that was our profit margin. Then the monthly growth was 0.5%, which is good because the annual growth rate for the jewelry industry currently is actually 6%, going on to 7%. It's $1 billion industry, it's really big. So our cost is 180, which is how we got to that. I initially did, I have projections for 3 years, but I put it down to 6 months. This is because the space, I just didn't have it. So right now we were at only 2 employees. I was doing most of the heavy lift. But once we employ more, we project items from about 120 to 190 in a space of 6 months. Number of employees within that period will be only 3. That's excluding part-time. Sales, that's in dollars, 168. Yeah, you can see all the figures. We don't expect a profit, a gross profit in the first month. Our gross profit margin projections are in the 40 ranges. First, it will go to 50 because we're looking into the gemstone market. So I know we'll start maybe with the like rubies, topaz, which are more affordable, and I expect the sales to go up when I start there. Then as we go on as a team to learn more about the trade in the gemstone, we'll expect to have some costs, time, labor, so it should dip for the next 2 months and then go on. So our team that's me, founder and creative director. I am at least financial management savvy because as a finance major. I have Photoshop and basic knowledge of InDesign, which helps with things like putting a logo on, posting things which look amazing to the eye. I'm detail obsessed, any designer should be. I'm trainable, I love to learn. You know, these days everything can be a Chinese product. So the best way to stay ahead of the game is to love to learn. You keep moving. Someone tries to copy you, you already move 10 steps ahead. So as a designer, you should love to learn. Then I'm a people person. I don't know if that's what everyone thinks, but I think I am. That's the other team member. That's my sister, twin sister. She was part-time. But she's an architect, so she helped me with my basic knowledge of Photoshop and InDesign, so now I have more knowledge of it. She was the part-time model for pieces. Yeah. But then I'm looking to employ more people. I've already outsourced some people from Kampala. Yeah, so our funding us is $12,000 for 6 months. $5,492 for working capital loan to cater for salaries, which will be a total of about 30% of gross sales for all the 3 employees. Then utilities is about $300, rent $833, advertising and promotion $252, insurance and burglary will be about $250. Telephone and expense and internet will be about $170 each. Then those bank charges basic, $36. Then initial inventory purchases will include also the training that will incorporate for the gemstone industry. And then contingencies. Yeah. So that's my presentation.
Thank you so much, Claire. And congratulations on your brave move from jumping out of the finance sector into the creative.
Yeah, that's what it is when you want to capitalize on passion.
Welcome to the hard grind. It's not an easy road. I'll take questions from anybody who would like to ask Claire in regards to Ruka and her future business. Any questions, comments, warnings? Yes, something from Santa.
It's partly my sector, so I'm enjoying this. Claire, how old are you now?
Oh. Who asks a woman
Everybody
that question?
in this house is 24. Didn't you get the memo? Everybody here is 24.
Yeah, I'm 24.
Okay, we are all 24. Well, the reason I did that was to actually congratulate Claire. I was here, I think, two months ago, and I actually had to remind myself that it's just 2 months ago that I met her, because I'm looking at a lady. 2 months ago, I met a girl. And so,
Thank you.
Claire, very, very well done, and I must commend you, Ayeta and Angela and the entire CDA team, for giving these people, the knowledge and the backbone that many of us never had. Claire, many times I heard you say just. We are just a startup. Can we just get rid of that just? You
Yes.
have started out, you have set out, Elizabeth just said, welcome to the rough ride. I think that's exactly what she meant. And you have made it. I think that you have a good head on your shoulders. Whether or not you get investment tonight, it does not matter. What matters is you know what you want, you're passionate about it, and you are going to get it. And I assure you, you're going to get it if you keep this straight. Congratulations once again. I wanted to make sure I say that before any other comment comes in, just to cement you. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, Faisal, you can say the same. You will never phrase it like that, so I insist you say what you want to say. The microphone is next to you.
Yeah, I was just intrigued by the mathematics. I was like, maybe I should invest half of the need.
Yay! Ruka, there you have $6,000 already. Thank you so much, Faisal. There's a hand at the back.
Hello. I'm curious to learn what you do with when you manipulate metals and stones.
Yes.
How you dispose the waste and what kind of waste you generate and where it goes.
George, that's an insightful question. But as I said, we haven't yet ventured into the gemstone, deep into the gemstone industry. I just researched a bit about the facts. It's something that I want to venture into because we can't just be, there's a wealth of materials out there. There's a reason it's called minerals. It's because it's wealthy. So I haven't yet delved into it, but when I do, I'm sure I'll have all the facts straight. I won't lie to you that I know the answer to that question because I don't. We haven't dealt in metal cutting, metal smithing, or varnishing any kind of material, but it's what we want to get into because it's very marketable. And apart from, in design, you also charge for creativity, which is subjective. But then if you have that aspect of an expensive stone, you bring in the objectivity even more in the pricing.
Well, I think your business is, your presentation is amazing.
Thank you.
The way you insist on the research part is great, and for a 2 months old venture, this is amazing. So maybe let's talk again in another 8 months.
Okay.
And see whether you can qualify for first round investment from him.
Yeah, we will. I already mentioned that we are going to be in Vogue. I'll probably have maybe Rihanna's number on speed dial.
Congratulations.
will be big.
You have
Thank
two potential funders right now. Take note.
Yeah,
You have
thank
Faisal,
you.
you have George. Yes, Nanjala.
Yeah, really just wanted to echo the sentiment that I thought your presentation was really well done,
Thank you.
very detailed, very insightful, and for a person who isn't in the industry, I think the most helpful thing was seeing the numbers so clearly, but also seeing your vision very clearly.
Thank you.
And I think it's just to encourage you to keep going. It's a really good presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. I will now thank you so much, Ruka. Thank you so much, Uru, and thank you so much, Fahari Stones. We'll move on to the next sector. I'm so sorry we're trying to rush this. We have just one more sector to go, and this session will be done. So kindly bear with us because we have some burning creatives that need your insight and guidance and funds, most importantly. I will now invite the fashion sector, where we have Care Apparel by Kazia Elaine Aikoru, Shabazz Sayed by Shabazz Sayed, Jinaj by Whitney Grace Najuko. Is Jinaj in the room? If you feel like stretching, feel free to stand up, but kindly stay with us for the next not more than 30 minutes, and this session will be done. Okay, while you get your presentation ready, let us start with Shabazz Sayed so that we could try and beat the time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shabazz Sayed Yusuf. I'm 20 years old, and I'm from Tanzania. As you can see, my brand name is called Shabazz Sayed Yusuf. It's based in Tanzania. It is a startup brand, and it's been in existence for 15 months now. The introduction. Shabazz Sayed is a startup personal fashion brand aiming to make an impact in the Tanzanian fashion industry. As you can see, this is some of my work I did in the past 15 months. I've participated in various fashion shows and competitions to increase my skills and to promote myself. Our services. We offer women's fashion and clothing, apparel, making statement pieces for various events. Our services are offered to women of all sizes, from the age of 17 to 35. Apart from women's clothing and apparel, we also provide consultation and guidance to our clients so that they can get clothing according to their needs and requirements. Our services are targeted to the middle class to the upper class women. Our revenue model, that's our simple formula for the sales. It's twice the production cost, which covers up the production cost, and the profit we make is used up in building the business and promoting ourselves. This is a table which shows our competitors, what it can do and what we can't. To start with, we have online stores. Our products are genuine, and to match the clientele satisfaction and style because there is a direct interaction with the customers. While online stores, the products may not be genuine. You may order something else and you might receive something else. Because of that, we have an advantage. What it can is that it can reach the global market very easily, while we can't. Second one is obviously the second-hand clothes. What we do is we provide genuine clothes, which meets the needs of the clients. But it can, it's very cheap, and it can be afforded by all the classes. The retail stores, what we can do is that we make products to meet the needs of the clients instead of ready-made garments, which may not satisfy every customer. It can target a wide range of target markets. We market our products through social media, fashion shows, and by dressing people. We're not done. Yeah. We get new customers from social media, from referrals, and by exhibiting in fashion shows and exhibitions. This is the financial projection for 2018 after after launching my designs this year. So that's the aim. As you can see, we have two tailors who I work with, and that's the financial projection. The team, this is my team of people who help me in my business. Startup is Dikshita Patel. She is helping me with managing and business consultants. She's the brains of the business and all the money parts. She's an event manager, coordinator, and talent manager also. So we try to utilize ourselves for everything. And we have Nadim Ibrahim, who is a stylist, photographer, and social media specialist. And then we have our head tailor, Hamisi. I've been working with him for the past 15 months. The team is made up of creative people with the mutual aim of making an impact in Tanzanian fashion industry. So we are looking to raise about $5,000 to launch the brand. 10% of this fund will be for founder salaries, and 20% will be used for sales and marketing our products, and 50%, which is like $2,500, will be used for product development. And then lastly, we have 20% for capital, expense, and equipment. Thank you so much. That's my presentation. Hope you all liked it.
Thank you so much, Shabazz. Just a few pointers and maybe some questions that you could answer directly.
Yeah.
Your research on your competition and your market is not very specific. You make it so broad. You say online stores, you say retail stores, because you're realistically not going to compete with the world. So you need to zero down onto who your competition is, so you can also figure out what your competitive edge is against them that will allow you a particular promotion direction.
Yeah, sure.
And also in your team, you say they're helping. Are they paid staff or are they voluntary staff? Because if that is not specific, then your projections will not be accurate. Because if they're helping, and then what happens when they stop helping and they need to be paid? Have you counted that in?
No, they have their specific amount of profits, like a small percentage, and instead of me looking for a photographer or a stylist, we just utilize ourselves so that they can also benefit.
So they are partners in the business?
Kind of, yes.
Kind of, or yes?
Yes.
Yes, they're partners?
Yes.
Okay. I would invite any questions to Shabazz from anybody interested in the fashion, in the investment, in the business, in his clothing line. Yes.
Shabazz, thanks for the presentation. I think what I've heard is, and what I've not heard, with the things I've not heard, it's a more of, I didn't hear about what have you done in these 15 months so far. And if I don't know if you can return back the slides on the projections. The projection slide, huh? Yeah, if I'm looking at it from an investor point of view, I get a lot of worries in terms of, are you really an entrepreneur to work? You want to be a fashion design, and this is the kind of margins you want to work on. You know, $80, $100, you know, for 5 months with all that kind of a team. And the other thing which I didn't see was more of a, as a designer, I didn't see a unique selling point in terms of what market. I'm seeing about 17 to 35. I don't know why you picked that number for whatever reason, but I didn't see a unique selling point in terms of, so if I'm sitting as an investor, if you're putting me on these kind of numbers, I'm sorry, but you really piss me off. If this is the kind of, I don't see the passion that you really want to do something. Two, you know, you have 2 employees, 4 clients, 3, you know. For me, they don't justify this, whatever kind of investment. So I think, I don't want you to aim very high because you are starting, but your story about the 15 months, what you have done, and at least let's make, you know, if you're going to work for $230, this is a minimum wage. Yeah. Sales.
Yes. So first I'd like to answer what have I done. I started off my career in a competition where I participated. It was my first time. I got into a competition. I participated. I at least got to top 5, and I earned some winnings, which I used to generate. And then I started doing fashion shows as part of it, and after that I got some more clients. I started dressing people. I also work with a modeling agency, which they helped me boost my career. And then secondly, about the financial projections, I'm trying to be a little bit a pessimist. I am making statement pieces, which I know will cost around $150 per pieces. So for starts, I think it'll be realistic if I started selling 3 to 4 pieces, because I'm growing, and then I'll start a business also. Yeah. No. Yeah, I understand. Yes, I understand. I'll work on that. Thank you.
Shabazz, don't be shy to talk about money.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Money is the business. And it's how you make that turnaround that makes your business grow, and the failure to do that sends your business down.
Yes, I understand.
So take advantage of the brains in the house. Yes, Santa.
Thank you. Shabazz?
Yes.
15 months mixing business and school.
Yeah.
You just finished your Form 6 yesterday, right?
Yes, I did.
Now you are done with day-to-day study to make it through high school, right?
Yeah.
Now you're going to focus on business. I am very optimistic that this is going to change. I think these projections were based on the fact that you were doing both school and work, and yet you managed to win awards during this time.
Yes, I have.
I feel that now is the time for you to actually focus on exploiting the mileage that came with your awards. Shabazz, those numbers are going to change. You are going to be more optimistic.
Inshallah.
I saw your work 2 months ago.
Thank you.
I saw your work, your actual product 2 months ago. I don't think the slides did you justice in terms of what you're able to do, but I know that probably a few months from now, Godfrey and you can have a better conversation.
So.
Good luck.
Thank you, madam.
I also wanted to add my voice because I saw your work 2 months ago, and you really made something cute, and I wanted to know how much that kind of piece would, you're talking about statement pieces,
Yes,
what would it cost so that we actually know when you say you'll make 4, what each one of that costs, because I really think you've got talent, you've got a unique personality, and I think you'll go far.
Yes,
So,
thank you, madam.
yeah.
So the pieces start from 150, and it depends on the client's needs. I make my outfits on their specifications and what they need. So it may range, and then yes, that's it.
150 is the minimum, and what is the cap?
I can go as high as it can, but then I don't think so if it'll reach 500 for the first 6 months.
Sorry, can I just add? Sorry. I want to add something to what Ayeta and Santa has said. I know Shabazz. I mean, the first show that Shabazz did, he came to us and asked us to help him out with the accessories. I think these presentations and the pictures that he's shown here does not show justice. I just want everybody to turn around and take a look at that piece there. I mean, Dixita, if you can just bring people, because the piece itself speaks for itself. Let's not just look at the numbers, because like I said, he's just starting out, and he was juggling school, which I'm very proud of him, because he was juggling a lot of things. I mean, he's done competitions, and he was also studying. And apart from doing fashion, he's a science major. So I don't know,
Wow.
it's a dream of being a doctor or
Thank
something
you.
apart from fashion design, but I just want people to look at that piece right there. That's what won him an award. He won the Best Emerging Designer Swahili Fashion Week last year, yes? Last year, yes. He is really good. And there's stuff that he has, Shabazz, you failed to mention that you're also a tailor.
Yes, I am.
Yes, there are pieces
Brilliant.
that he does himself, so seriously, just look at that piece. That speaks a lot. I mean, that is really different, especially in terms of fashion, because we see people, the trend with a lot of designers, it's the same thing every single day. The only difference is that the material that's being used. But that is creativity right there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
Thank you so much, Nancy and Shabazz, for just 20 years. You are going to go places.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Shabazz, you are excellent. We know that you are creative. We know that. But, and I made it a point to acknowledge you. And I celebrate all the other positives that have come through. But I must also add on that we are here on impact investment. And as far as those numbers are concerned, our investors are disturbed. So let's focus right now on the business behind the creativity. I still believe that those projections are going to improve, and you're actually going to attract a lot, the investment that you require. Let's keep focus on the business. We need the money to come into finance, Shabazz. Thank you.
The challenge that most creatives face is the failure to match the talent and the numbers. And unfortunately, that is what business is. If the two are not telling the same story, no matter how much passion you have, it will go down. I would encourage that after this session, try and interact more with the gentleman from Godfrey. We have, where's Stephen? Did you run away? Stephen Gugu? Stephen Gugu from Ventures. Try and interact with him and get your numbers straight. At least get an understanding of them. If you would like to focus more on the creative direction of the business, get somebody who's very smart with the numbers. It will save you a lot, a lot, a lot. I would now like to invite Care Apparel. Oh, it still won't work. Do you have a paper? Is Jinaj back? Jinaj, you have a presentation to make? You should be up here. While Care Apparel gets her presentation ready, I will invite Jinaj from, well, Whitney Grace Najuko from Jinaj. So Care Apparel is ready. We will go with Care Apparel. Okay, just a clarification. Jinaj is going. Welcome.
Habari, everyone. I'm learning Swahili, so yes, bear with me. Hi, my name is Whitney Grace Najuko. Most people call me Whitney Jinaji, and I'm the founder and creative director of Jinaji fashion brand. Yes. So let's start. I always talk about why I'm doing Jinaji, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm a very dynamic person. I love to put creativity, and I'm a trailblazer as a natural person. So I can say I'm a designer by accident, or I was born as a designer. The right word is a creative. I just don't know why I create. Yes. Okay, so as a young child, a little girl, and then I started being a teacher. Teacher is the right word? Okay, so I would go ahead and recreate stuff just to wear. 6 years old, 7 years old, just to wear, just for me. Because I was staying with fosters and I couldn't have another new dress. So it became my thing. Every time they give me a dress and I want to have a new dress for Easter or another Christmas, I just DIY this one, dye it, stitch it with another fabric, and then I became the queen of couture, the girl with a needle, a scissor, and a thread. So with time, as over and over my friends ask, where did you get that? Every Christmas, Easter, Christmas, over and over on Sunday, church. Then I tell them I did it. Then my friends want help. Then I keep on. Then I become a teenager. Then in school, it's the same process from costume designing in school plays over and over. It was not called fashion design. It was just, I'm a creative. I create things and it's fun. The girl is right now standing here. Now I'm a fashion designer, Whitney Grace. So Jinaji as a brand is a Ugandan fashion company that I design, manufacture, distribute, retail, ready-to-wear, outerwear, timepieces, because I'm still passionate about couture and I always just want to create things that inspire me, that have a story that just happens through my eyes, because I have an eye for detail. Shoes, accessories, home interior clothing with focus on expressive female and male. Most of the things that are in there are the vision that Jinaji as a company has to go ahead and do shoes, accessories, home interiors, and clothing line as a global company. So our vision is committed to create a truly global brand that provides indigenous African pieces. We believe that Africa is very indigenous. Everything came from here. We are the first people who had everything that was amazing. Then because we're hunters, migrators, the world evolves, and then through the evolution that happened, the world became a global community, and then we have all this indigenousness in Africa, that every culture is different, every country you go to, there's something that tells a story about that. So we get the indigenous inspiration and incorporate it into our African pieces for individuals, customers, partners, shareholders, while achieving a goal of becoming the #1 value fashion brand. We really want that when someone wears a piece from Jinaji, it's value, it's timeless, it makes you feel a certain way that when you're down, rock that outfit and then become the diva. So when you feel amazing, it's the right thing to wear. Then our mission statement, through our business model, we aim to provide African-inspired, authentic, timeless, and then we really value sustainability in our fashion design and the environment. So our objectives, some of them are those four, continually innovate our business to improve our customers' experience because we really value innovation and dynamism in everything we do. Looking at to provide new designs made from quality materials that are affordable, because we also want people to be able to access and get our outfits. We aim to contribute sustainable development in our society. We're also looking at offering quality contemporary fashion and providing African luxury and vibrancy, classic, to our customers. So this is some of the work we've done because we do value expressiveness to the customer and how we feel through our inspirations as Jinaji. Jinaji is a house. One of the main core things that who we are, that defined us, that tells our why of what we're doing, is because our creations exhibit colorful, thematic prints which mellage between African and Western couture through the use of different influences and inspirations, which gives an avant-garde, fresh and indigenous outlook on African fabrics. So our creations have a tapestry of arty-daintiness and independence that go ahead to bring wearable and comfortable looks with a light-hearted French twist. Yeah, all those things. Okay, we've had our time. Jinaji spent about 3 years to be very serious into making money, dressing people. We've had our good times. Like they always say, a cat has 9 lives. We believe we still have a lot of lives. We've had our moments in the triangle where we went ahead, dressed some celebrities in Uganda. Our first fashion show was in 2013 when we fundraised for orphanages to get school fees. And then we realized, we had to look into deeper. And then we showcased at the Brian Style and Fashion Awards, one of the amazing and big awards station in Uganda. We had a moment in Goma because we also offer services as Jinaji that we go ahead and train and provide workshops so people to understand the business of fashion and fashion itself in Goma, DRC. We showcased with Kenya World Fashion Week in 2015. Also a great moment and exhibited too. We're also nominated in 2013 as the upcoming designer of the year. We had Miss Tourism Bunyoro pageant. We've worked with beauty pageants to dress them on occasions. We participated with US Embassy and also members with the Seed Show. Costume design is one of our other services we do. So we get to work with TV show and series and films in partnerships where we get to carry out art directing or costume designing. The one that we had a few months ago was Little Black Dress Gala, which happens annually in Vancouver 2 times a year. So we exhibited our clothes there. Those are some of the successful milestones we've had along the time in the 3 years. SWOT. Okay, so we have our strengths that we've used so far in the 3 years to do something professionally and also make sure we make money and see that we progress. And then weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And should I go through them? Okay, can you get to another slide? So our strategies, we really focus on this dynamic drawing where we focus on design and development. We go ahead to produce and do value chain, marketing and PR, sales and distribution and customer care. That's what Jinaji goes through. But the thing is, it's not always just the circle up. Sometimes it's customer all the way to PR, all the way to Jinaji. Sometimes it's this way. we try to focus on each collection to see sometimes it's what we're inspired with, sometimes the customers really inspire us. The market and customer, our biggest market is about 25, between 25 and 35, and then the other share is 18 to 25, then 35 to 50, and the ones over 50 are our lowest clienteles that we usually have, both male and female. So our revenue model, we get a lot of revenue major, and we're looking at focusing more into that, the sale of merchandises that we get to make, and then exclusive partnerships and strategic collaborations. Some of them are, that's why I call them strategic collaborations. And then online sales, we're looking into hopefully going into online sales and focus on online. And then Jinaji services, like I had mentioned, in costume design and all the others. Yeah, so our Jinaji studio operations, we envision them to run like this and then go all the way still, where we have a design team and creative team. I work with 2 part-time and 2 part-time and 1 full-time people in my studio when we're creating pieces. And that when I'm designing and getting inspired, that's the design part. Then we move into manufacturing, all the way to retail, store, and customers. So of late, we're just focusing on direct to customer, and then we've had some moments of business to business, but we hope to have that chain in our vision. Most of the challenges we've had is the miraculous competition among various international brands. Many brands in Kampala, some are not global, it's small, like from Korea to Thailand, that bring new clothes, and they're in the malls, and they have pretty much the price that people get to buy that. And then some companies that are doing mass production. Other is transportation and shipping costs. We've had moments where we have to ship clothes, and it's really expensive to do exportation. Culture differences, because we aim to be a global brand, we feel we have some culture differences that get to kind of affect can be a challenge in us to convince people to buy our products. Then the exportation regulations that are in the East African community and costs are some of the main challenges we're facing. Oh yes, I forgot production. Yes, and production costs. We're seeking for $50,000, moving into, we're looking at that to break down what it's going to be focused on. To do offline, to have an offline physical store, we feel it's one of the biggest challenges. Clients always asking, where are you located? Can I get your piece? Can I come by? So we can have a touch with our customers. We're very optimistic in having a distribution and having a touch with our customer one-on-one. Manufacturing and production. Most of it is going to go into also e-commerce to stabilize our e-commerce platforms and carry out marketing. The other is mentorship. We seek to have mentorship too, and also team and staff. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, that's the vision. On the slide that we had second last, which is design, and then move into manufacturing, and then go ahead and take to the client. Yes. What can I say? So, while I was trying to do the figures for why that money, I was caught up in two things. First, the collections that we want to focus on, like not doing the annual seasons. We're trying to do the no season kind of collections, and then away from the collection kind of clothing, which is not for the runway or for the client. So it got to be, it's not like specific, I'm going to do 20 outfits and that's it. In terms of, yes. Okay, so maybe let me give a little brief about Jinaji's history, how the 3 years and maybe before. So whether we all couture, and then I was not doing it professionally, I was just doing for choirs and friends and that's it. Then after that, when I joined campus, I started receiving a lot of clientele. So I was, the first investment was 20,000 Ugandan shillings. I don't know how much is that. The first investment was my own 20,000, bought fabric so I can do one piece. That's $15. Oh, 15,000 Tanzanian shilling. Yes, that bought fabric. The first investment so that one piece, exhibit it and attract clients. So the first business model was do one sample and then attract people, then bring in money. Yes, that's how it was. So most of the numbers were on a need. The first piece I made for the range. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, our lowest space, I can give the lowest because the highest goes all the way depending. Okay, so the lowest price in our pieces is $100. Then it goes all the way. A cup, wedding gown is like $500 or $300, yeah. Roughly 1 year, because the other 2 years were on a need. Yeah. Sorry, the figure for the projections I have the last year. Oh, I can say what I was able to make. Yeah. The mic is off. Yeah.
It's great to be passionate about what you're doing, but also they need to have a certain sense of financial future and previous operations. I know it's still a young business, but they need to be able to have a certain guideline of, if I invest in Jinaj, this is what she's selling for, this is what she has sold at in the past, and maybe this is what she aims to sell in the future, and we can make this amount of profit if I give her $50,000. So the numbers are what we need to also, sort of connect here.
Yeah.
So in the last 1 year, do you have any estimations?
Yeah, about $1,500. That's how much we made. Like, not how many pieces, but how much we made.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good still for a startup.
Yeah.
I will invite any other question for Jinaj. Asanta, this is your industry. No. A comment, a question, a warning would be very welcome. And Godfrey, you're the man with the numbers. I need to hear more from you.
Thank you. Elizabeth, you are scrubbing my people, but that's okay. Whitney, again, I love your spirit. I love that you are very well articulated about the direction that you're taking.
Thank you.
I, again, think that you make a fantastic entrepreneur, and you will arrive for sure.
Thank you.
Now, $100 is your lowest price.
Pardon?
Is that the lowest price of your...
Of the pieces, like when they're timeless pieces, when they're ready to wear, it's the ones like this one here, then it's different.
Okay.
But most of the times you get ready to wear people most of the time. Sorry, the timeless pieces. So it's usually that's the price that we give, yeah.
Okay,
as the lowest.
That was a cause of alarm for me, and so I wanted to make sure that you know, you have the right clientele for that, especially given the fact that it's a given you're talented, and however, there's stiff competition out there, and especially I shall be posturing for the same client such as you. I have no second thought about that. When I see a client, I want them to wear a papa. So we have to make sure that you are competitive in terms of your product and as well as your pricing. But since you have the other area as well, I think that, you know, it helps for a rainy day to have pieces that can be picked off the shelf, you know, at a more reasonable price. Otherwise, I think that, you know, welcome on board. We're going to ride this together and enjoy the ride.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
For me, definitely the presentation was good, but it didn't talk a lot about the financial side of things. And you have talked that you're doing both women and men, but I didn't see any men anywhere there. So I think if you are doing a men and women, I think the presentation should have covered that one. My personal feeling from investment point of view as an investor, I think you need to work close with this guy. Chief, I'm talking about you. This guy, yeah. Because I feel there is a bit of, you need someone to take you to the next stage, who is more of kind of experience with this kind of thing. So that will be my advice to you. Make sure that, and then from there now, I think you can be ready to get the investments you need. Definitely the store part of it, it will be important, especially as Madame here is telling you that the ready-to-wear for you, I think from the style I've seen, I think should be about 30–40% of your market, because the other one is relatively, you reach there, but you need to have that one. And I don't think if it's a store outlay nowadays with all these Chinese wallpapers and whatnot is expensive. And in Uganda, you should have one in Kagwa Street, at least to start off. But I think you'll get there. I really feel that if we sit here next year or in any other place, I think you'll be somewhere very far. But please, that point you have put, you have not emphasized on it. I've seen you have put it somewhere where you need a kind of a mentorship. I think that's very key for you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to apologize for the technical issues and the going back and forth. And I'll be using a PDF format because the PPT has totally failed. I'm Kezia, and I would like to introduce you to House of Care. The journey of House of Care started in 2015 when I started designing clothes for my workmates while I was still working here in Dar es Salaam as a full-time architect. And I just fell in love with fashion. And over time, it grew more and more and more on me. And last year in 2016, in March, I started doing this full-time. My side thing became my main thing, and my main thing became my side thing. But I have grown over time, and officially my first financial year, I can say, started May last year, 2016. And a bit of our design philosophy, we believe in relevant and creative clothing. Relevant because we believe it has to be functional. We don't just do fashion for the sake of, dreaming, but we want to dream and yet still achieve function. We believe in elegance and yet simplicity. And we have to have a touch of creativity, regardless of how simple something is. And we target middle and high income. We target middle and high income people. And who is the middle income person in Uganda specifically? We categorize that person as someone who is earning, say, about $200 to, say, $1,500. And now that's debatable because the person who is middle income in Uganda is not necessarily the person who is middle income, in America. So I'm talking specifically about Uganda. And so we have some of our products, mostly we're doing upper at the moment. That's clothing. Those are the products that you can see on the screen. And we design mostly for women at the moment, but we also do menswear, and you will see some clothing for men on the next slide. So these are a few pieces that we've done. As you can see, we stay true to our word. It's simple, and yet it's creative. It's elegant. You can wear that dress comfortably. And I mentioned that our target for ready-to-wear is within the ages of, say, 23 to 45. Of course, that's just a large margin, but it's purposeful because we feel like, why should the dress that a 45-year-old be so different from the one that a 23-year-old wears if certain standards of, say, decency and whatnot are kept? And if there is a certain aesthetic and they share that aesthetic, so we try to meet that. Of course, there are pieces that may only be worn by the younger one and not, or vice versa. But we do our best to cater for a wide range within ready-to-wear. Our revenue model currently is transaction revenue from sale of products, and usually we double the direct cost of sales. That's the cost of production to get our final price. And for the first year, because you're just entering into the market, people don't really know you. Sometimes you don't even double that. You just say, multiply a half of cost of, take a half of cost of production and then put that on top of the, so it was, it wasn't a stable price, but the rough, that's what we do, times 2. And that's our average monthly revenue. Sometimes it was higher, sometimes that's the average. So we've started officially a new year, because I said May last year, and now this is May 2017. So the market, this is a very general idea of the market, because it's very hard to quantify the exact, exact number of middle and high income who are fashion conscious and who fit within. But this is a range, because in Kampala, which has 2 million people, about 67% are unemployed. So that's automatically out of the question. So we are saying about 30% are employed. So probably around 30%, which is 600,000 people, are within our possible clientele. And we also think there are markets up country in the urban areas and outside of the country. Because now with online marketing and meeting people from different countries, like right now, I can meet someone from another country and they might be interested. And that's happened to me when I meet people from other nationalities, and they've actually made orders. So our competition, for our competition, I must put a disclaimer that we looked at competition for the purpose of studying the market and looking at areas where we can improve. But it is in no way are we saying that we are comparing ourselves. And I'll start with Arapapa by Santa Anzo, because when we grow up, we want to be like Arapapa by Santa Anzo. And we feel like their advantage within the market space is that they appeal to a premium clientele, and they're already there in terms of that. So that's their advantage within the market space. And currently, our advantage within that same regard is that we have, because of where we are right now, we have more affordable pricing for the lower middle end. So the person who is earning 500,000 Ugandan shillings, which is around $150 maybe, or so around there, can also buy something, say for $12 a top. So if you're earning at that rate, you're not going to spend, say, $50. If you're earning $150, you're not going to spend $50 and more on, So that's what we feel our advantage is at the moment. Then we have Renzioni, who have a higher focus on accessories, and they have good quality accessories. And we have a higher focus on apparel. And Quesh that caters to only women, and we cater to both men and women. So we are looking at ourselves in the market space and feeling, and looking at what are the areas that we can maximize as care apparel, as House of Care. So our sales and marketing right now, we're doing our sales and marketing mostly online because it's free. So Facebook and Instagram, and talking to friends, family, acquaintances, getting referrals. And we also have a physical space where we sew our clothing, sew our clothing, and sell from in Namwongo, Kampala. And we plan to do pop-up shows. We plan to get into something Ugandan, who will, it's an online platform. We're already having discussions with the owner of something Ugandan, and he's agreed to put our products there at no cost. Though the catch is we only get money after they're sold. It's a fair deal. It's a fair deal, And then later get into bold to get to the high-end income bracket that we are targeting, which we haven't yet gotten into. That space we haven't yet gotten into. So far, all our sales have been to the middle income bracket. So our financial projections for the next year, for this May to next year, 20 in April, are, as you can see, the reason why I highlighted October and why there's such a leap in numbers in October in everything, in sales, in expenses and everything, is because we plan to launch a new collection in October. And since we are getting into more sales avenues, we are predicting that we will have more means to sell, basically. You know, pop-up shows, online stores, just more engagement. So we believe that when we get something new and fresh and there's a buzz around it, our sales will more or less double. That's why that figure jumps. But those are our projections. And the team is basically me. I have worked with 2 other tailors apart from Wycliffe within the space of this year. That is in-house. And right now, it's me, a tailor, and I outsource whenever I have excess production that I cannot meet in-house. I cannot have more than 1 person in-house, though, because it greatly increases my overheads, and I can't afford that at the moment. But I recognize that I need a couple of financial services and sales and marketing on a more professional level, because I don't have any previous business training or financial training. So everything that I'm doing now, I'm learning on the go. So I do recognize that I need those expertise. And my funding ask, I'm asking for $10,000 US, and that's the breakdown, the highest percentage of which will go towards production, because that's the biggest bullet we have to bite, really, because the materials and good quality material is expensive, and good quality workmanship is also expensive. So, yeah, thank you. And that's Angela Kilusungu from SIDEA, and she was modeling a piece that we did for the incubation program in February. I'd like to say thank you to SIDEA for inviting us into this space, for giving us this opportunity to just say what we're about and to grow with them.
Thank you so much, Aikoru, and thank you so much for a fairly well thought through presentation. Just to take you back to your projections page. I noticed that your average price per unit goes up only by $5, and yet your direct cost of sales goes up quite tremendously.
Yeah, so the average price per unit goes up by $5, but then there's also the 30 number of units and the 50. Yeah, so that's what causes you get?
I get that. I'm just thinking if generally if your cost of productions are rising, that will automatically affect your profits in the long run. So you'll also probably have to, reconsider your pricing, because as your cost of production goes high, then you need to be able to match it to meet that. Not at the expense of your clients, but try and make the figures balance.
Okay,
I will invite another comment from the house. If we would, potential investors, Hiva, Baimba, have you seen another future venture that you'd like to ask any question about? The gentleman from Godfrey, we would like to use your brains while you're here on the numbers to assist the young startups. Who has the microphone? Oh, she'll give you.
Yeah, thanks. It's a good presentation. I think you have tried to capture most of the thing, especially on the where you need a little bit of support in terms of understanding the financials part of the business and the marketing. Because what I feel about the 2-3 presentations of relatively the new businesses, first of all, they're like, I don't know, is it you're trained in the same school or something? They look like the same kind of, this presentation, the previous one, the designs in terms of they look like they are alike. For me, every designer needs to have a unique selling point. It's very critical that if I see Arapapa, I want to differentiate it between Arapapa and if I see my brother here of Africa Sana. And that is the essence of being the designers. Having said that, the other thing is, in terms of the numbers, if you look on those numbers, I'm just looking at it, they don't reconcile in terms of, you're talking about that you'll have, in November, you'll have 35 clients, units sold 50, your direct cost of sales is increasing, I don't know for what reason. I would have expected, okay, the operating expenses to increase is fine because of, but what is this direct cost of sales? And is almost doubling. And my view is, if you are going for a relatively higher volume, your direct cost of sales should reduce in terms of, so it's a line which gives me a little bit of not understanding what is really there. But I think you have identified the good areas of improvement. For me, I'll always encourage the designers to try to have that unique selling point, because that is what is going to sell. And that is what is key, because at the end of the day, if you're all like, you are almost the same kind of designing, it becomes like, and that's what I feel. I've seen the two presentations, they look like the designing, you have been trained by either the same school or the same, I don't know, but that's what I feel from what I see. But otherwise, good luck. I think in the next 6 to 1 year, this should be a very good business. You are passionate about it. You have started very difficult things, so I don't think this is much easier than what you have started in architecture. So I really get very impressed for people who can leave, a profession to go and do this kind of a risky venture, because at this juncture it's risky. Thank you.
Thank you.
Koru is my home girl, and so are the last 2, 3. And so, like I said, the magic of fashion is in Uganda. I'm so proud of you guys. Now, congratulations. You just took a very difficult decision to leave formal employment for a creative venture. Like Mr. Godfrey says, it's very risky, but the beauty of it is I see passion, and more passion. And I think that will take you on during the rainy days, which will definitely come, but we shall face them with a smile. Now, I'm going to take you off a little bit and say, I noticed that each one of you has a brand of your own, which is a beautiful thing, and it projects both a positive and a negative. And I'm going to address this to you because I believe you have little chit-chats with your colleagues who I did not address this to. Now, it's great to have your own brand. It means you have a vision and direction for your art. On the other hand, it also means that you are self-contained, meaning it's me, my way. If you don't want, take the highway. Now, what is the possibility of a synergy, of a collaboration, of a coming together of yourselves, all the three of you, and all with us, the established, or those that have been around for a while? What is the possibility of you guys giving up the ego side of things, which need 4 other creatives on top of my team to achieve this? What is the possibility that we will put our egos aside and focus on the business so that we are able to attract further investments? Carol.
Yes, I believe that possibility is there. The possibility for collaboration is there. I don't think that we have our own brands because we are averted to synergy or we do not want to work together. We simply entered into this program as individuals and therefore are presenting ourselves as so, but it's not like it's something that cannot happen. I believe the possibility for synergy is there. And I believe that question goes also to the rest of the Ugandans, and yeah, it's something we definitely need to talk more about. Yeah. Thank you.
It's thank you for your presentation. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Found you on Instagram. This is actually more of a comment for everybody. You know, it builds off the comment that the first comment that came in about distinguishing yourself from everybody else. And one thing I would say is, don't step back from being dynamic. Like, I feel like a lot of the presentations that we've seen this afternoon would really benefit from, I want to see more of your personality. We're in a creative sector. You know, we're like, this is where we expect to see your flair. Your clothes, I mean, I think everybody nailed it on the wardrobe. The clothes are absolutely, I love looking at what you guys are wearing. It's so cool. But even as you're presenting like numbers and statistics and things like that, again, this is not for you specifically. This is for really everybody who's presented this afternoon. We are in the creative sector. Let's be creative. Let's infuse our presentations with our personalities and with our, you know, why should I take 5 minutes out of my day to stop and listen to you? And so it's not about putting fancy things in your PowerPoint. It's not about whatever, but to me, it seems that as a creative, you're not just selling a product, you're selling a lifestyle, an idea, a perspective on the world. So why not communicate that? Is it young and funky and trendy? Then let me hear that in what you're saying. Is it sophisticated and elegant and upmarket? Let me hear that in the way that you are conducting your presentation. You know, everybody has sort of come to the front and planted themselves behind the projector. Walk around. You have a massive stage up there. Walk around. Use your hands. Tell me a story. Why should I buy into your vision of the world and of fashion especially? I think that because you're going to be talking to people who are not necessarily fashionistas, especially investors or artists or filmmakers, and you still have to convince them to give you a check. So for them, you're not going to outnumber them. You're not going to give them numbers in a way that they've never seen before. You're not going to give them pictures in a way even, it's your story. That's your value add. That's what makes you, you know, House of Care and not Woolworths, whatever. So don't be afraid to be creative, right? Thanks.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank all of you so much for all your constructive criticism, remarks, comments, warnings to the designers. And just to build on to, as we wrap up this session, just to build on to what Santa said, I look for, and this is really across East Africa, as was what we're addressing, I look forward to a time when the creatives can come together and build with each other, for the future generation, with disregard to their individuals as a person. And this basic example is when you read about the Coco Chanel brand, Coco Chanel has been dead for so long, but the brand as an identity transcends way past her, and we still read about it. In that the designer who took it over, Karl Lagerfeld, has not wanted it to be named after himself. He still maintains his individual respect as a designer and a creative, but the brand has grown internationally. So I look forward to designers and a future like that. Thank you so much. I will now, a special round of applause for Sedea and the brave young creatives who have pitched their ideas to us this afternoon. I'd like to remind all of you to kindly hand in the comment cards to anybody with the Sedea team tag. Oh, and then we must sign the painting before we go, so let's not forget that. And also, I would like to remind the rapporteurs that the reports must be submitted today. Our special rapporteur today was Lydia Kasese, who is an advisory board member. Hi, Lydia. And thank you so much. I'd like now to take this opportunity to invite Ayeta to make the closing remarks. Thank you so much to Sedea again.
The end. Oh, thank you so much, everybody, for staying this whole afternoon. I can feel that the energy is sapped. But I thank you so much for staying until now. And just to say that after we break out, there's, I think, a cocktail out there. So don't rush home, you know. Stay with us and have some drinks. And let's network. But I would like to take this opportunity to thank the resource team that worked with me as the program director of this conference. I couldn't have done it on my own. I worked with a team that helped me think about the speakers and all that. I would also like to thank Robert and Rice for really supporting us to ensure that the minister came here. They did all the political advocacy and networking in the deep of the night until they got him here. Asanteni sana kwa kunisaidia. I also thank the government for participating. Doreen, you know, you've been here since yesterday, and you've really, you know, been so involved and said you will continue working with us. So asante sana. We had an events manager who ensured that we came to this hotel. We could have been in some dingy place, but she did all the work to ensure that we came to the Serena. So where is she? Tanzania Conference Services. Okay, tunamshukuru sana. Martha, yeah. The speakers, the moderators, the rapporteurs. Rapporteurs were depending so much on you. We want to, you have to show us the reason you went to school, your memory. You know, what they say, education is, you know, knowledge is what you remember after you've left school. So we shall test the quality of your education through your rapporteuring notes. And also, Grofin and Heva, this could not have been an impact conference. It could have just been a creative economy conference. But because you're here, we had that perspective, so thank you very much. Black Codes, thank you for taking this experience, recording it. We shall sit back and listen to what we said. People have been watching us on the internet, so we are very grateful for what you've done. I don't know who I've left out. You, the moderator of the day. Asante sana, Editruda. Editruda is part of our advisory board member, but she's also a board member, sorry, but she's also my sister. You know, they say we look alike, so asante sana. Our chair, Madaraka Nyerere, asante sana for staying here. We know you're beyond 24 years. So you need to rest, but thank you for staying until the end. So ladies and gentlemen, I think let's break a network in a more informal way. And let us meet next year, second conference, to review what has happened, the promises that have been made. And we hope next year we'll have more East African participation. Santa mentioned that you could have come with a delegation of Ugandans. Someone else said Kenyans. Another one said Rwanda. So we shall have, I'm sure, more government representation and the creative economy representation. Thank you so much for your support. I'm so grateful that the president of the Film Federation is here, and I'm sure we're going to work closely hereafter. Asante sana. Bye.
Sioni wala sisiki, penzi lako lanitia wazimu. Nishike mkono wa kulia, ni wewe tabasamu. Sioni wala sisiki, ni kweli penzi la kweli lina utamu moyoni, ni wewe tabasamu. Umbo lako ni kama maua, najuta kukupenda. Nikuona unipapase, unishike, uniguse moyoni mwangu. Nikuona unipapase, unikamate.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention for a minute? We have a painting right here. Don't leave without signing on it. If you exhibited, if you participated in any kind of way, please sign our paint up front. And Team Sidea, if you are Team Sidea, please follow me up front for a group photo. Team Sidea from outside, Team Sidea, yes. Please come in front for a photo.